What's up, everybody? It's Fabio Potent. You know this. Back with a Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 148 discussion. I wanted to talk about this chapter. It was a Maki-centered chapter. Really enjoyable chapter. A great chapter, especially after a 3-week hiatus that we had, or a 3-week break, I would say. Not necessarily a hiatus. A 3-week break that we really needed, you know? If you watch my videos, you've seen me say that I didn't enjoy the post Shibuya chapters too much. They were fun, but they weren't what I was expecting from a post arc. Regardless, though, we're going straight into the Culling game. We haven't gotten there yet, but we're getting some Maki stuff first, I guess. And the Maki stuff is very, very interesting. A lot of callbacks to some earlier chapters in the series, and it's all coming together. And I just wanted to talk about it real quick today before I head off out of here. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So at the beginning of the chapter, I pulled it up. I'm going to talk it with you guys. At the beginning of the chapter, Nalia is back after getting bodied by fucking Chozo. Chozo should have told Maki that he bodied this nigga. This nigga got saved by fucking... this nigga got saved by Yuta in the last leg. But he's talking down to Maki, talking about her shit. And Maki said something funny. That kind of made me laugh. She was like, you judge women by their faces. I thought you only looked at their asses, which made me laugh a little bit. But fuck that nigga. That's not why we're here. What we're here to talk about is a multiple of interesting things. Maki is walking down to the cursed warehouse, which she's not supposed to enter. And that's when we see a woman who was introduced exactly 10 chapters ago in chapter 138. Pretty sure people have already called that out by now. But I didn't know who this woman was back in that chapter. I thought she was just some, like, handmaid or whatever. But apparently, she's a lot more important than we thought. Also in this chapter, Megumi, he walks up to Maki right in a flashback. And in this flashback, he's basically telling her that you should become the head of the Zenin clan instead of me. Like, I don't want to do this shit. Maki, she gives all these reasons, all these different explanations on why it should be Megumi and not her. And Megumi says, but stuff like acceptance, what the people of the Zenin clan think, doesn't matter, does it? You'll get all those benefits you mentioned. Just becoming the clan head. And then Maki says, but I'm still not good enough. I can't create a place where Mai would feel like she belongs. And this was, the moment I read this, I loved it. Because I was like, where did I remember something like this happening? And I thought, all the way back to the Goodwill event in chapter 41-ish, 42, chapter 42. Maki's leaving, right? And she says, she's like, I'm going to become the head of the Zenin clan. Now be the Zenin. He's laughing. Bah, ha, 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 ha. How about I make your life harder? A little harder. What do you want? For Mai too. And then Maki says she has nothing to do with this. And then Mai calls her a liar. I always loved this dynamic back then. Even back then, I was interested in it. I always loved Mai. I know people shit on her all the time. Maki fans is out here. But, I always loved that moment. And now Maki saying this, that she's still not good enough, and I can't create a place where Mai belongs. Even though back then she said it doesn't matter. But clearly it does to her. And something changed along the way. Even more interesting, besides that, which was beautiful, we get more of this Zenin misogynistic, like, family dynastic, and how absolutely disgusting and brutal that they are. Now, if you remember in chapter 41, when Momo and Nobara fought, if you remember in that chapter, Momo was talking to Nobara about the things that Mai had to go through being part of the Zenin family. And I love Nobara, and I love that moment. But it's so cool and so interesting to see all of that coming into play right now, with us finding out how disgusting and how vile the Zenin family really is. That being said, we get the reveal of Maki's mother. It was the woman, the handmaid, in chapter 138. And I should have noticed this earlier when I first read that chapter. Because right at the beginning of the chapter, around 138, now he's going off on his spiel about fuck these women. And he's saying, Maki may be pretty, but she's unacceptable. She doesn't know how to support a man. Any woman who can't walk 3 steps behind a man should get stabbed in the back. And this woman has a ... And I always just toss that to the side. I was like, well, she's just spooked. She doesn't want to die for her life. No. This was her daughter this entire time. We just didn't know. She's like, why are you always like this? For once, make me glad that I gave birth to you, Maki. Ouch. We didn't even know, like, that's Maki's mom, fam. Spooked and now you're like going around in this house. Like, we don't even, like, this family is crazy. And that's not even the tip of the ice. That's just the tip. We're not even all the way in yet. After that, we get this whole cool plan of Nalia and Ogi, I think Ogi, the fodder nigga. I'll be surprised if he's nice. I don't think so. They come up with a plan to make Mai and Maki traitors to get them out of there because they had to get around this loophole because Megumi is head of the Zenin clan. They're trying to rise the ranks of the families. And they want to, and since Megumi is cool with Satoru Gojo, they also want to enhance their positioning. But what they're trying to do, they're trying to manipulate the rule that Satoru Gojo has been deemed an accomplice of the Shibuya incident and that permanently exiled from the Jujutsu world. Furthermore, removal of his seal is considered a criminal act. So they must execute all 3 of them, Fushiguro, Maki, and Mai, as planned as rebels with Gojo. But the thing is, they use Maki's father to kill her. Why are we just, like, why, what? Toji not shit. But at least he fire and he care about Megumi in some way. This nigga wants to kill his daughter. And now he's a bum. Like, what's wrong with this family? Like, at least like Toshi, he like take care of business. But what's wrong with this family? In the Jujutsu world, it's crazy. This man is gonna kill his own daughter. And likewise, Maki has to fight her own father. And then they get into the stances and they do their old cool shit. And supposedly, Maki got cut again, which is even more brutal. She's even wounded already, and she gets even more wounded, cut across the chest and the eye. She's not dead. She'll be okay. Regardless, though, just a nice chapter centered around the Zenin family, centered around Maki, getting some stuff with Mai from back in the day. Also, that chapter 41 with Nobara and Momo, the things Momo said about women in the Zenin family and the things that they have to deal with. What Mai has to deal with. Maki saying that Mai doesn't matter in this equation back in the day, but changing that now, saying that she does matter, that she wants to create a world where she can feel like she belongs. I just like where this is going. She's not dead. Is she gonna kill her own father? Probably. Kind of crazy though. And this nigga crying about why he couldn't become the head of the Zenin clan because my children are useless, worthless. Okay, I wonder if we're gonna get a flashback, like a full flashback, next chapter. Like a full Zenin flashback. That'd be kind of crazy. I doubt it. But yeah. Tell me what you guys thought about this chapter, though. Especially if you're a Maki fan. You probably loved it. Tell me what you liked about the chapter. Or maybe you didn't like the chapter. You don't got to always like it. If there's some things you didn't like, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Read Kaisen. Wash out your hands. Oops. I'm Fabio Potent. I'll see y'all in the next one.